without further ado, we've got a special guest here today, and thanks for waiting on the line. Amir from Supergiant Games, how are you today?
I'm very good. How are you guys?
Yeah, really good. Special that you could come on to the stream and for the finals as well. Again, very generous of you. So yeah, thanks for that. I know you're a busy guy.
Oh yeah. Well, just right now we got a couple things going on trying to get the game to 1.0. But yeah, I was excited to be here. I really wanted to be beforehand, and I didn't know until yesterday.
Thanks.
So now I am here. But yeah, no, it's an exciting time for us. It's exciting for the community that you guys have reached the finals of the Hermes Cup. And I'm excited for the races too. These are going to be good. You know, one of the things you said earlier, Jared, I realized it's kind of cool about the format is you can have people from all over the world, and it's totally fine, right? Because you don't have to worry about latency or this kind of thing. They're just running on their own, which is pretty cool.
It is cool. The only trick being, because of the format of the solar system, sometimes people in Europe can't play so easily because it's 2 a.m. for them.
Yes, the time zones.
There are a few Europeans though that are watching and are super keen to be watching the finals tonight. So thanks for joining us tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's good to be here.
So big news in Hades Land. I would say you've had the trailer launch for version 1.0. You've announced Switch. Why don't you talk us through what's been happening the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, so we announced in the Nintendo Indie World that Hades is coming to Switch. So it means when we leave early access, it'll be on Switch and on Steam and the Epic Games Store. And so it was exciting for us. We did a lot of sort of work on our engine to get it ready to be in more places, and that's where it's going to be at launch. So it's big news for us. Something we've been working on for a while, and just excited to be able to talk about it now.
Yeah, that's awesome. So just a quick question on the Switch. Is it going to be for, if I have a copy on PC as well as Switch, will my save file be able to be transferable?
Yeah, so we are working on that. Yeah, exactly. So that's an aspect we announced in the Indie World, cross saves. And, we know we have these players who have a lot of hours invested in their save files. And so we thought it'd be really cool if those players could also use them on the Switch. And so it's something we're really excited to do, and I hope the players are able to kind of bounce back and forth if they have both.
Yeah, absolutely. That's super cool. I'll buy a copy on Switch as well.
Yeah, Amir, you've conned me into just buying another copy of Hades. This will be my third one now. So thanks a lot.
Well, thank you for supporting the studio and letting us do what we do together.
And buying a Switch, don't forget that part.
Yeah, I mean, so another exciting thing is obviously we've been working a lot on the changes, and so I don't want to speak to any of the new content, but I thought it might be fun for some of your viewers if I said a thing or two that we are changing that kind of intersects with the world of high heat, the world of people who are pushing the game to its limits. We've got a couple of just like one or two smaller changes there.
Oh, that's really cool. So hang on, are you going to tell us about them now?
Yes, yeah, I'll tell you about them. They're just edits to stuff that's there, but I think there are things that hopefully people will appreciate. So the first is tight deadline. So we get a lot of feedback about tight deadline, and a lot of the tight deadline feedback we get is kind of magnified at high heat, where the whole game is significantly harder and you're trying to do it really fast. So the change we're making to tight deadline is it's 3 levels now. And each level decreases time by 2 minutes, and your time is preserved at the end of a biome. So if you have a really, really great Tartarus, you can carry that forward, and it might defray some of if you have some slower times later. It's a pretty significant change.
That's super cool. I can really see that working.
Yeah. So I mean, it's what I like about it too is it's actually something that works at both ends, because it also allowed us to make the first point of tight deadline worth only 1 instead of having it be so high at a starting point. to kind of maybe lure a couple more people who wouldn't have otherwise to go fast. So that's one of the things I was excited about with the change as well.
That's good. Bringing more people in, getting them hooked on the community here, Amir.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's one of those things where it's part of the high end of performative play in Hades is being able to do it really, really fast, which is of course the whole premise of this event. So that part is exciting.
Yes. So I guess it's all under review or whatever right now, under design. But what sort of timeframes are we talking about if it's going to be cumulative?
So right now the way it's tuned is it's tuned for 9, 7, and 5, and that's been working out pretty well for the stuff we got. So it's I think it's going to be good. I think people when they start looking back at their times, especially, will see that they're able to make that happen. But we'll see. I'm excited. For sure, I've enjoyed the change, so we'll see.
Yeah, for sure.
If I can make note, I believe that's how tight deadline was initially put into the game, if I remember correctly. So what made you want to experiment in the direction of where it is now with blood price, at least?
So I think it's been different ways. I think it's been different ways at different times. I don't remember if we always carried over time. I actually don't remember that. I don't remember when we put in tight deadline. But yeah. So this is a good example of I made a change recently that I'm not going to talk about because it's still to the prerequisites of a boon, and I was like, wow, this is genius. Why didn't I think of doing this before? And I realized, it was like that in the Superstar update. It was exactly the thing before. And I just made it exactly how it was before. So I think there's some elements of that with Hades, and actually in figuring out some of the elements of the 1.0 final balance, it's actually quite a lot of it is interesting to consider historically, because I look at some of these changes, I'm like, why was this like this? Oh, this was like this because of that build that was, for murder, death, kill, where you could do a specific thing, MDK update, and things have changed a lot since then. So maybe I can loosen up that a little bit, because it's a little bit, it's just a little bit different. So yeah, there's some good stuff there. I have one other thing I can say.
Okay, please do.
We changed Snap Nova.
Everybody.
I know this is a hot topic because of the last time we were together, but we changed it. So
can you tell us a little bit more about how you changed it?
Why would you? No. How did you change it?
We added the snap function to all weapons, to all hammers.
Oh no!
Yeah, so we didn't need to call it Snap Nova anymore because everything snaps.
So perfect.
That's exactly what we wanted.
Now you pick up a hammer to get rid of the snap, don't you?
Yeah, we're gonna. It's perfect. Anyway, no, we the change we're workshopping right now. That one I'm still working on, so I'm hesitant to say something or promise something there, unlike the tight deadline one, which is quite close. But gotcha. Yeah, it's still got mobility, but we also try to see what else we could do with it. So it's got mobility and a little something else.
That's good. I'm glad you're able to at least keep the core of the hammer, because I thought it was really interesting. When I first saw it, it was something I was excited to take and see. But it's just in practice, it didn't seem to function like I had hoped.
Yeah. Yep. And I think it's one of those things where I had high hopes for it. I like the idea, but I think hopefully this builds on what was working about it.
All right. Awesome.
Sounds good. Awesome. It sounds like you can still use it, probably tactically, which is, I think a big part of the idea of what you were going for in the first instance. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So that's some of the changes. I just wanted to bring them up to this group, and excited to see what you guys think when you get a chance to experience it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for sharing that. That's pretty generous. I'm pretty sure we're going to be collecting a few questions from the class, from the viewership here.
I have time for questions. So if there are any questions, I'd love to love to answer a few before.
Oh, I'm glad you're free right now, Amir, because I got a list right here. If you don't mind.
Haley, you always have a list. You always have a list of questions. A list of questions.
I'm ready. What can I say? Question the first, Mr. Amir.
Yes, tell me.
Okay, here we go. Here's a fun one, at least. If there was a co-op mode, who would you want to be your partner?
That's it.
If there was a co-op mode.
That's easy. If there was, me personally,
Yes.
I personally would take Goldie with me.
Oh, okay. I mean,
No,
I can't help but
move,
think of
right?
another
Is it-
person that
Well,
prominent.
doesn't it?
You can't get, you know, like, I guess, you know, nerfed, or you can't have like your co-op player, you know, play really badly and then make you lose the
It
round.
sounds
It's faulty.
technically feasible to me
Yeah,
to
no.
play as a boulder.
That's clever, that's good.
I think it has everything that you need.
He just rolls all over the controller to play.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yes. You got a few questions there, Halion, actually. What else have we got here in the list?
Okay, moving on. All right, question the second. All right, here's another one. This one might be a slight call out, so I apologize in advance for calling out on something here. All right, when Hades was first launched on Epic Games, the roadmap listed Twitch integration as a possible future feature, but it has since been removed. I believe it was moved rather quickly too. Is there any possible chance we could still see that?
So yeah, I mean, we have no plans for doing more with Twitch integration for 1.0. So I don't want to get anyone's hopes up for something that we're not doing. But I can explain a little bit like where we started. You know, we always thought of Hades as a game that would have good performative play, and we thought that might lend itself to people wanting to share their experiences, and we've seen that be the case actually, which is great. And it's in events like this as well. And you know, we started. We actually did some work on it, but we weren't super happy with where we got. So
That's fair.
there's a lot of things we make that don't end up in the game. And that one actually happened to end up on the roadmap and then not end up in the game. But that's, you know, the nature of early access.
Yep.
You know, I think the game actually grew to be quite a bit bigger than we had originally planned and was originally on those roadmaps. And so we're really, really happy with the scope of what it became. But yeah, some of the things ended up not making it.
Yeah, and I guess, you know, there's just so many ideas you can cram in, but it ends up being a matter of time versus when can you deliver it and all that sort of stuff too. So you got to kind of pick and choose what's best for what you think is best for the game. But something that I've heard mentioned before, and other popular sort of roguelikes do it as well, is having some sort of a regular challenge, like a weekly challenge or something, integrated leaderboard, something with preset, you know, run configuration that's kind of unique, and then everyone gets a chance to sort of just try that out, and maybe there's a reward attached. Have you thought about that sort of a idea?
Yeah, so for sure, we are always looking at what other games in this category have done, you know, because there are so many inspiring and good roguelikes that were, you know, fully done by the time we started on Hades, whether it was, you know, Dead Cells or Isaac and Spelunky and all these games that do have modes like that. So certainly we've thought about it. In our case, you know, we're a small team. We have to focus, and our focus has always been on the kind of full kind of single player narrative experience that we made in the roguelike format. And so you know, for us, that's kind of where we invested our time, and where we landed with Hades. But it would be, you know, it's always good for us to know what the interest is, right? Because our plans have always also been, you know, partially influenced by what we see the community wants and that kind of thing. And so stuff like that is great. You know, if people have specific ideas, we obviously have the feedback channel. And, you know, especially one of the things that's kind of interesting about all these different roguelikes is their version of this is very different from game to game.
Yeah.
Like Spelunky's version of this is very, very different than Dead Cells' version.
Yeah.
And the engagement with the kind of the runs that are are changed, or like a Monster Train and stuff like that, is also really, really, really varied. Like how much the community really, really cares about it and how much they don't. So I think it's a type of thing where the game has to be right for it, but really you really need the right design for it too. In addition to being able to achieve the scope where it's somewhat connected online, which is the tricky part. So if people have interesting designs for that, that's always fun for us to hear, even if it's not something we can pursue. It's one of those things where there's the closest thing I've seen to this is actually the community challenges people have created, which we thought about them existing in the game are actually quite complicated. But it's a good example of the community kind of picking up in the same way that you guys sort of have with your mod for the speed run and stuff like that. And the potential for that really excites me. I love seeing what the community can do with this stuff.
That's good. Thank you, Amir.
Yeah, absolutely.
I guess a good follow-up question I might have to that is there a specific amount of time that you spend looking into other games or playing other games, or do you get a lot of feedback from the rest of the team on, oh, this is a good game to check out, or we should play this and see how they do this or that?
Yeah, we do both. I play a lot of games. A lot of people on the team play a lot of games. And I think we do something where I stream to the team, just to our dev team. Sometimes I stream Hades, sometimes I stream other games. And yeah, we're always playing other stuff. So it's important to us that our games fit in the fine tradition of making games, because for us, we've it's part of our company kind of mission, which is to make games that spark your imagination, like the games you played as a kid. So we revere those old games, and we want to kind of often take those feelings and put them into a more modern format. So yeah, I've been playing tons of stuff. Someone's asking in chat, what have I been playing? I've been playing all types of stuff, but I've really been enjoying actually lately Deep Rock Galactic, which is a game that is a 4-player multiplayer game. But I'm only bringing it up because it's an example of a game that I think has actually quite strong progression. So having good progression is something we've always cared about in Hades too. So I'm always interested in games that have good progression. The only problem with games with good progression is you usually have to play them a really long time to see how I mean, that's not really a problem if you're enjoying yourself, but if you're doing it just for the learning, it can take a while.
We should play that,
it's
actually,
true.
Hallian, on one of your Tuesday fun streams when you're having a break from Hades. Do a 4-player.
I might have to
get Amir in. We got 3 players already. Easy.
We'll do a surprise Amir. We'll name him something else.
Of course, Amir did just mention, folks, if you have any sort of feedback, the best way to do that is go to the Supergiant Discord, official Discord there, and there's a feedback channel. Incredibly, all of that feedback does get read. I've been assured multiple times.
Yeah.
Don't know how you do it, but well done.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, Rikito Ogawa, how are you, sir? Asks, how many more Pantheon can we hope for in the finished game? And this might be secret information.
So I think it's not a secret because it's in the roadmap. We have no more Olympians are in the 1.0 of Hades. So anything we've written in the roadmap is true. So
that's good.
If you have questions about that.
Hold on, Amir.
Yeah.
I have a call out here. This is my second call out already.
It's okay. I came to be called out.
So little did you know that I memorized every roadmap at every patch, because
I was talking about this before
you said, and I quote the roadmap, we will be adding one more god. That god was Hermes, and you said that you would not add any more gods. Lo and behold, Demeter appeared not much later.
Surprise.
So I'm not saying you got an answer to this, but I'm just saying, I still have hopes.
No, he's keeping silent intentionally, and look, good for you, man. Don't say anything. It's fine.
Alien litigate the roadmap. Just Alien in the roadmap.
So you mentioned it's announced in the trailer fall this year.
That's right.
I'm not American. I don't know what a fall is. So can you give me a closer
Also sometimes
indicator?
referred to as autumn.
Okay.
So it's fall. It's later this year. Yeah. I mean, it's that's the as with the previous time we talked. It remains the same.
Every time, Amir.
It's fun.
Yeah, no, that's good, and it'll be released when it's ready, guys, and it'll be awesome, and that's all we need to know. So, what do you reckon?
Yeah, we're very excited. So,
do any of the folks in the studio actually watch the Hermes Cup out of interest?
Yeah, several of them are watching it right now.
Oh. Hello, everybody. That's excellent.
Yeah. So
I'm not usually like this.
No, it's normally swearing.
It's usually a lot worse. It's usually a lot worse, actually.
There's two things usually. There's people who watch it live and there's people who watch the bots. So
that's cool. Oh, that's an honor. All right, well, we'll have to keep improving on the stream. That's for sure. So do you just a question I've got? Do you folks sort of track? Obviously, you track other games and what's happening in the industry, but do you track what people are doing with modding Hades? Because that's always interesting, I guess, in terms of sort of ideas people have for what they want in the game.
Yeah, so I'm actually pretty behind on what mods are doing. This is an example of something that I plan to pay more attention to when we're kind of clear of launch a bit. I'm really excited by the potential there. Every single one of our games has had the files just open. Like we've never tried to obscure anything there. So really, one of the things that means is that anyone can go in there and modify the Lua scripts or the data or any of those types of things. And so with Hades, we moved even more of the game logic into Lua. So even more of it is visible by the community. So everything from, how enemies are set up and their AI and all this kind of stuff. So some of it is still in native code, so it can't be accessed as easily. But we do that so it's easier for people on a team to develop with. I'm not an engineer, and so sometimes I have to work with that stuff, and so I can work with it with the Lua files and Lua data and stuff. And so yeah, it's one of those things where I'm excited for what the community can do with it. Hades, I think has a lot of potential for modding, and it's one of those things where it's really cool that there's their own Discord server for it, so people can help each other out. I think one of the hardest things when using another developer's tools is how much is not explained to you. Yeah. So it's good that there can be like a community around it, and maybe they can kind of help each other. The main thing here is like we can't support it officially, even though we like leave it all out there for other people to do. It's already a lot for us to support our games, and we support Bastion and Transistor and Pyre also with the same team, and so we can't always like vouch for things people do to their games, and we certainly get a number of crash reports from people who have just like messed up their own game. So it's one of those things where we can't like provide official support for it. Yeah. But for sure, it's one of those things that we don't want to stand in the way of.
Yeah, for sure. It's a very active community. I've been lurking on there for quite a while, and everyone on there shares all the information that they ever learn. It's a very supportive community, so that's really good to see. And a lot of cool mods are coming out of that too.
Yeah, I'm excited to try some of them. I have never installed one, but I'm excited to try one.
Chaos Gate every chamber, Amir. How can you go wrong?
Well, I think I've experienced that not in a mod, just from when we've had bugs, so it's all good. That's one I know.
All right. So we should probably start with the race pretty soon, but
let's do it. Yeah, I'll take off then.
Yeah. Oh, you're welcome to hang out, but I'm sure you got things to do, so feel free to enjoy it.
I should probably finish my part of the game. So
Thanks for coming.
It was really, really good to talk to you guys. Good luck to the racers. I hope you all post times that you're proud of. And thank you to the chat and everyone sending us love and who was excited to see Hades reach 1.0, who supported the game and played this game for many, many hours, who sent in F10s or wrote feedback or DM'd me about something or sent me a save file or any of those types of things. Posted videos, watched all the stuff. So you helped make the game what it's going to be when it's done. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Amir.
Excellent. Thanks for joining. All
Yes.
right. Well, that was
good luck, everyone. Bye.
See ya. All right. Well, with that, we've got a race on our hands, and we've got the third place match coming right up, and that